Hello everybody, today we're going to be jumping back into Historic Brawl with old Stickfingers. So the goal of our deck today is to get a massive creature based on filling our graveyard with tons of the other creatures in our deck. Old Stickfingers' power and toughness is going to be equal to the number of creature cards in our graveyard. So he's going to be a growing threat over the course of the game, costing only 2 mana, with an X value that we can pay to put additional creatures into our graveyard when he's cast. That's going to prevent us from having a 0/0 Old Stickfingers that dies if we cast it on turn 2 with nothing in the graveyard. We'd wait, pay X1, and get our Old Stickfingers onto the battlefield. Taking a look at the rest of the deck, we've got a bunch of ramp pieces and then lots of ways to mill ourselves. We've got Stitcher Supplier, Mire Triton, Gorging Vulture, and then some other spells like Glowspore Shaman for ramp, Grizzly Salvage. This can ramp us, get us a creature. This is kind of a toolbox card. We also have Mulch. This is similarly going to help us with both ramp and filling up our graveyard. And then we're going to work our way up towards a bunch of other creatures that gain value off of having creatures in our graveyard. Things like Lord of Extinction. He's going to get very big, very quick. We've got Rhizome Lurcher. Once again, this is going to be a huge creature depending on what's in the graveyard. Moldegraph Millipede as well. All of these cards are doing something very similar to Old Stickfingers, letting us put out huge creatures onto the battlefield. And then up at our top end, we've got some big threats to close out the game. Galt is going to get cheaper based on Old Stickfingers and our other large creatures. Forerunners going to end the game for us, just like Craterhoof, giving us that one big chance to swing out. Nyxbloom Ancient, if we can get that back onto the battlefield, is going to give us so much mana. It's going to be easy to get ahead. We also have Shieldred. This is going to synergize really well with all of the creatures we're going to have in our graveyard, getting things back each turn. We've got the Giant to deal a little bit of damage as well. So lots of ways to utilize our graveyard to deal some additional damage. If you guys have been enjoying my content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you have any ideas for a deck you'd like to see me play next, make sure you leave that as a comment down below. Let's go ahead and see how this does. Alright, opponent going first, putting us on the draw. This looks like a good starting hand, though. I feel okay keeping. Gonna start with the turn 1 Goose. Right, drawing into Diagraph Rebirth. Gonna say hello back to our opponent. Opponent's on Thalion the Gitrog. Alright. Up to 3 mana. Let's start our ramping. Looking good so far. Next turn, we're going to have access to 4 mana. I think we're going to go Beanstalk Giant. Maybe go Llanowar Elves as well. We'll see. Alright. Okay. Let's play out our Swamp. We are going to play the Beanstalk Giant here. Going to get that green land. Use that to cast out our Llanowar Elves. Just ramp up towards our more expensive threats. Alright. Let's see what our opponent picks here. Most likely the Shieldred. Though Voracious Hydra can be a threat. Interesting. Alright. Diagraph Rebirth. This is actually going to get less expensive as creatures die, so we will eventually surpass the tax there. There's a Murderous Rider. Going to be a clean answer. Let's go play Stickfingers on 4. Alright. Looking good so far. Old Stickfingers is a 5/5. One more land and we can cast out the Shieldred. Maybe our opponent's gonna play the Thalion Gitrog this turn. That would be pretty nice for us. Alright. Opponent's gonna destroy Old Stickfingers, probably. Now he picks the elf. Okay, that's fine by me. Grizzled Stickfingers. I'm just gonna go ahead and block here. We can play him out again for cheap, back in the command zone. Alright. Now what do I want to do here? We got a couple of different options. I think the best one for us right now is going to be hold up that food token. So I'm going to go ahead and pass. We can make a food token. We can also use Murderous Rider. This is going to give us the most interaction this turn. If our opponent plays out the Thalia and the Gitrog, we can deal with it immediately. Keeping in mind, if we draw the land with the Gilded Goose food token, we can play out Shieldred. But we do need that untapped land next turn. Alright, well, key to the archive. That's fine. One's gonna find a spell. They're hesitant to play out their commander, just based on what they see in our hand, which makes perfect sense. Alright, get rid of Glissa. Let's make that food token. Move to my turn. We do not draw the land, unfortunately. But we're just gonna pass, do the same thing again. No need to worry about missing out on value here. We do have a board wipe to fix some of our issues later as well. If our opponent overwhelms us, we actually don't mind wiping the board, even with our own creatures on it, since it's going to give us that additional graveyard value. Alright, here's Thalia and the Gitrog. Okay. Well, let's do what we were going to do before. Murderous Rider. Back into the command zone you go. And make a food token. Here's our land. We're gonna play out the Shieldred now. Now our opponent could have found removal off the key, or they could be holding on to removal in their hand as well. Odds are they're gonna use it here. That's gonna open us up. Okay, counterspell. Makes sense. Well, now we know that they don't have their key card anymore. Okay. Hive to get rid of Shieldred. And plays a Scrap Gorger. That's good. We've got a creature to fight. We'll be able to destroy the key later as well. Exile Shieldred. Most likely. We do have a bunch of creatures in here. Might pick something else. He does pick the Shieldred, though. Alright, this upcoming turn we're gonna have a choice. Let's play out our land. I think this is gonna be the best play here. We're actually gonna be able to destroy either the key or the light shield array if we attack. If they play out Thalia and Gitrog again, we can kill it with Voracious Hydra. Actually, don't mind that particular line. Can also wait and see what we draw into. Perfect. There's Thalia and the Gitrog. Yep. So the first strike is kind of annoying, but fortunately for us, we aren't going to be dealing combat damage to Thalia. V4 enters tapped, sure, but let's go ahead and just remove that right away. Death Touch means we lose the Hydra. Alright, there we go. Gives Indestructible. That's fine. Let's go ahead and play out our Murderous Rider. And let's not attack yet. We don't care about taking them off 2 extra mana this turn. This will be a good blocker if we need to. Can also swing out next turn instead. See if we have a way to remove Thalia. Okay. Let's see what he gets this time. Galta, okay. Going for the big creatures right off the bat. Does make sense. Alright, no blocks. Next turn we might go for Old Stickfingers, put some more creatures in our graveyard, give us better choices with Rebirth. Yep. Can't get rid of that one. Alright, well, let's move to combat. We're just gonna swing out here. Okay. Deal a whole bunch of damage. Opponent down at 12. We're back up at 15. Now what can we cast this for? 3, 5? Let's go ahead and make Old Stickfingers a 10/10. Put a bunch of creatures into our graveyard. Can shrink it to 9 with the Hive. Alright, Millipede's good. Dreadhound and Conrad are both good. We're in a really good spot. Our opponent's also low on cards in hand. They do choose to swing, though. They might be looking for a clean answer to our board. As it stands, we do have lethal. No blocks. They can animate the Hive, block 10. It's gonna be 11, 13. There we go, yep. That makes sense to me. Yep. Bottom of the library, that's fine. Okay, well. Old Stickfingers time. Pay X1 here. Nice. Let's mulch as well. Got a 17-17. Opponent cannot afford to play out the Thalia. Puts us in a really good spot. Alright. Elias for the Death Touch, probably. That makes sense. Now, I believe that this should close out the game. Let's go ahead and play. I was thinking about taking a fight angle with Pelucranos. But this is just going to make much more sense. Swing in for 26. Opponent's going to be able to gain 3. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, you do not have first strike there. Okay. Yep. Game 3. Perfect. Good game. Alright, on the play, this looks like a pretty good starting hand. We'll go ahead and keep. Putting a decent amount of faith in Grizzly Salvage, finding us something good. Leyline Prowler is also going to be good ramp for us on turn 3. Timeless Witness is a good card to have, but definitely not something we need currently. Alright. Well, one option there. Okay. Pass the turn. Next turn, we've got our Leyline Prowler. Alright. Opponent's ramping, but we can ramp too. After this, we might go Stickfingers on 2 next turn. See, we have some options. Leyline Prowler might die right now. Okay. Grim Tutor. Let's see, if we draw another land, the Troll feels like it would be a pretty good play as well. I actually like this. Let's play out our Troll. See if we get the card draw. If not, we'll be able to swing in for 8. We do. Gain some life, draw a card. Alright. Young Necromancer is a fun card to have in hand. Don't have quite enough creatures in our graveyard yet, but we're working towards it. If we get another land, Massacre Worm can clear the board. It's gonna let us actually connect with our Troll. Alright, I do want to keep the Troll though, so we're gonna get rid of the Leyline Prowler. That's just one more creature in our graveyard. Okay. Let's start by moving to combat. See if we get the card. Alright, here we go. Swinging out 4/8. Interesting. Yep, opponent down at 12. Let's go Stickfingers on 2. Getting some more creatures in the graveyard. Alright. Dreadhound, pretty fun. Might want to get that back with the Young Necromancer. Not sure yet, though. Lord of Extinction. Also a pretty good card here. Alright, well. Stickfingers is gone. I'm fine with him in the command zone. Add a bunch of mana. Okay. This is fine by me. Okay, no land here. Let's move to combat, see if we get it. And we do. Alright. Play out Lord of Extinction here. There's another 8/8. And he's only going to keep getting bigger. Alright. Well, we're fine with that. Just grow Lord of Extinction, get no value. Alright. Looks are good. It's not looking like they have a removal spell for this. So we're gonna start being able to swing very aggressively. Okay. Gain some life. Scry's down to the bottom as well. Alright. Young Necromancer, maybe? I think we're gonna do Young Necromancer here. Okay. Exile 2 cards. We're gonna get rid of Grizzly Salvage and this guy. And you know who we're bringing back. Alright, see if we can get some extra damage through. Yep, there's 3 damage. Down at 10. Opponent's gonna have to tap down here. Sacrifice, bring to 9. Now he's gonna have to block with Shieldred when we swing in with the Lord of Extinction. That's great to force that block there. Creature dies. Get our trigger. Opponent's gonna go down to 8. 7 off the arena. We'll be able to gain 2 at end of turn, so we are looking at 9. Can deal 4 off the giant if we draw another land. Keep in mind, if they do play a creature, our troll might cause them to sacrifice it. We'll see. A board wipe would be pretty good for our opponents here. Alright, so that's going to be 2 blockers.
Are you enraptured by my beauty? Or do you?
I think best blocks, sacrifice 1 for 8, block the 9, take 8, 2 sacrifices. This should be lethal. If not, we have our giant at the end of turn. So let's go ahead. Yep. We've got it. Alright, good game. Alright, this looks like a good start. We'll go ahead and keep playing into Ayara. We'll have this enter tapped, no turn 1 play. Save ourselves the 2 life. Okay. Just gonna play out the 0-1 Tarmogoyf here. So we can have it on curve. Alright, Leyline Prowler. It's gonna help us ramp. No attacking with our Tarmogoyf. Alright, next turn we might be going the Murderous Rider angle. Yep, no use in attacking. I would just block with Leyline Prowler. Okay. Send the commander back to the command zone. Alright. Now, we could cast Old Stickfingers. He would die if we did that, so no use there. We're gonna hold back our blocker. We do need to start fueling the graveyard soon. Alright. Blood Vial Purveyor. We can swing in with the Leyline Prowler now. He's gonna be pretty good for us. Gonna be a growing threat. See if we can get our opponent to deal with him as well. I'm okay with him going back into the graveyard. Alright, our first blood token. Yep. That's fine. Alright, here we are. Another land. Let's go ahead and move to combat. Swing like this. No cards in our opponent's graveyard yet. Giving them a choice. They're gonna let the Leyline Prowler through, down at 18. Okay. Now let's actually start building up those creatures in the graveyard. There we go. Looking good so far. Now Lord of Extinction won't die if we play him. It's definitely a win for us. If our opponent casts some more spells, they're going to be buffing our Purveyor as well. Slow and steady, going to get through that damage. Sure, yep. Looking good. Ideally want to see some more cards in the graveyard. Alright. Makes sense. Opponent now has a sorcery in their graveyard. Makes Tarmogoyf grow. That's good for us. Yep. Sacrifices their token, draw some cards. Still in a pretty good spot. Alright, well, let's move to combat. We're gonna swing out here. Our opponent doesn't really have good blocks. They'll always kill one of their creatures if they do choose to block. No way to trade. They're down at 12. Let's see. Let's go with the Prophet, and then we'll play the Murderous Rider as well. This is going to be good. With the 1 mana here and the 1 mana here, let's see, 4, 6, 8. We can Craterhoof next turn. And I think Craterhoof is going to be really good for us. They're gonna definitely force some blocks. Might just be lethal, haven't counted exactly yet. 6, 11. It should be lethal. Now all we have to do is be on the lookout for removal. Alright, well, we draw another land as well, so that's one extra creature that we can attack with. I'm okay with Auto Tapper on the Skull Prophet. I'd want to keep Leyline Prowler just because of the Death Touch and Lifelink. Alright. And here we are, swinging out. Good game. Alright. Alright, and here we go. This looks like a good starting hand to me. We can go ahead and keep. Right off the bat, seems like we've got a couple of early plays. We've got some good ramp as well. Our opponent's going to be trying to develop early threats as well, but let's keep. Seems like they took a mulligan. Alright, opponent starts with a bobble. Let's see if they take a look at our card. Yep, they do. Alright. Beanstalk Giant. Start with the Marsh. Next turn, we'll play our Florahedron. Alright. Opponent's ramping. We're gonna do the same. Gonna have access to 4 mana. I think we're gonna go Giant first, then play Binding next turn. But we'll see. Still have time to play around our opponent's choices. Alright. Here's a land. I think we are gonna stick with this. Giant. We're gonna get... We have the green source in hand, so we're gonna get a black land here. Then play Binding. We hit some creatures. Nice. Okay, opponent plays out their commander. They'll swing in, draft a card. That's fine by us. Next turn, I think we're gonna go for the Cavalier of Thorns. Though the Uprising is tempting. Tarmogoyf is also pretty big now that we've actually filled both ours and our opponent's graveyard. Maybe we go Uprising in the Goyf, draw a card. Okay. Well, no Uprising. It's gonna make the turn just a little bit easier. Let's go get rid of that. Actually, I think we're more concerned about lands in our opponent's graveyard. We'll just get rid of those. Okay, now let's see what we want to do this turn. If we play this out, we can play our Hydra for 4, kill their commander. I actually like that a lot. Yep, fight. As a green creature, the hexproof won't matter there. And now we're in a really good spot. We'll have Goyf for next turn. Plays him out again. Gets in for 3, drops a card. We might want to get back Lord of Extinction here. I think we do. Hit our land drop. We can play the Cavalier and the Goyf here. Let's play this to get our earlier ramp. Okay, Goyf. Move to combat. We'll swing for 4 here. Start getting damage on our opponent. We're in a good spot. He's going to be a very big threat to play out next turn. The spellbook has a bunch of knights. We do have to be worried about some removal that he can draft into. But aside from that, we're in a good spot. First Strike and Death Touch is less than ideal. Alright. Drafting a card. There's no reason for us to not double block here. If he does manage to kill our creatures, that's more in the graveyard for us. And if not, that's still one more card in their graveyard. Alright. Lord of Extinction. Move to combat. We'll swing out. You don't care if they block with Death Touch. Honestly, I'd rather that be off the battlefield anyway. Free up some room for 12/12. Yep, blocks the Goy. That's fine. Count it down to 10. Okay. You can play Old Stickfingers on 1. That's gonna also grow Lord of Extinction. Looking good. Alright, now even if our opponent does have removal, we're in a really strong spot. Alright, there's the Murderous Rider. That's off the spellbook, because he's got the alchemy tag. But getting rid of our Lord does grow Old Stickfingers, so it does become difficult. Our opponent's gonna have to block this turn. Then we just have a choice of which of these we'd like to play. Yeah. Alright, well, let's start with combat. We'll keep the Hydra back. Let's see. I think they're just gonna sacrifice Murderous Rider, block Old Stickfingers, let 5 through, maybe? Alright. Interesting choice. I would not have expected that. Now we can play out both of these cards, and I think we will. Alright. We're in a very strong position. And our opponent's drafted 2 other cards, I believe, so they're... but we've seen 2 of them already, so there should be only 1 left that we're really worried about. They can animate their land to block, but as it currently stands, we have a lot of damage. Can give Double Strike, gain 6. It might just wait to do that as blockers, and no, we've got it. Alright. Alright, well, this looks like a pretty good starting hand. We can go ahead and keep. Start with our swamp. Next turn, we'll be able to play out Binding of the Titans, start growing our graveyards. Okay, opponent plays a Shambling Ghast. Oh, we do have the Skull Prophet option here. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. It's gonna be good to get him out early. If he manages to sacrifice Shambling Ghast, he can kill it, which is fine. It'll end up in the graveyard. But I do want to be getting that mana value while I still can. Yep. We let 1 damage through, that's not a problem. Alright. Let's play out our Visionary. Draw a card. Okay. Then we're gonna hold our Prophet up as a blocker, tap to mill. Next turn, we'll have access to 5 mana. Puts us in a pretty good spot. I think we might play Ren and 7 there. Opponent's gonna attack with the token. And the 1/1. That's fine. No blocks. Ren and 7's gonna be big for us next turn. Make sure we hit our land drops. Yep. Opponent's draining us. That's fine. Okay, mill 2 cards. Alright, we do draw a land. Let's play out the Ren. And I'm just gonna plus here. Yep. Start filling our graveyard a little bit more. Our opponent can swing out, kill the Ren here. That's fine, that's less damage to us. keeping Jar back. Now we're gonna have to start picking which targets we value the most. Masker Worm, excellent draw. We're just gonna play out our land first, then go ahead and play our Masker Worm. Gonna hurt our opponent a whole bunch. He can kill the Skull Prophet here. Let's see if he chooses to do that or make the treasure. Alright, he chooses to kill the Prophet. That's fine. We're gonna mill 2 cards. This is more than a fair trade for their whole board. Looking good. Yeah, we'll just block here. Opponent's gonna start losing some life. We're actually okay leaving their commander out on the battlefield, because that's going to cause loss of life each turn. But we are going to fight the Opportunist. I really don't want to be dealing with that. Opponent says good game. I think we have it too. But not until they give up. We still have some more damage that we have to do to them. They're not going to block. That's fine. 4 creature cards in our graveyard. We might be looking for Old Stickfingers next turn. See, if opponent has a board wipe, you know, we're going to be on fairly even footing again. Our life totals are close to each other. I think... Alright, looks like we've got it. Oh, very nice. Alright, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Like we saw, Old Stickfingers is great at putting huge threats onto the battlefield and not really caring when your creatures die, since those are going to give us more value into the late game. It gives us a lot of potential to swing in for large amounts of damage on our opponents. We also have some very nice high mana value threats in that deck that we're playing towards, so there's always going to be a goal as we're ramping over the course of the game to find that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, and if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.